Well, welcome to another Follow2 POS Cloud training video. This one is on loyalty now and some marketing, so we're going to combine them. So when you first come into the software, of course, you're going to end up going to the home page. And the thing that you want to do with loyalty is we have a few settings that have to be turned on first. And if you haven't familiarized yourself with the setting pages, we have a ticket setting page, and you'll notice that it has a whole bunch of things in here. And you'll see down at the bottom, you have some pretty important switches. Do you want new customers automatically to be marked taxable? And I'm just going to throw in that that's pretty critical, because if customers are not marked taxable, then they won't get taxed on their ticket, okay? And that's designed so that every new customer will be taxable if that's on. The other one's the automatic starch pop-up, and it only occurs on laundry. Use price levels and don't show tickets. You'll also notice that there's a bunch of other things here. For instance, the email of the manager and the name of your ticket. So if you want to customize your ticket, where your ticket actually gets printed. So it'll show here the path of the ticket itself, and that's the share name and the computer name. Now up here you've just got ticket information, environmental fees, rush fees, basic tax rates and things like that. Under general settings, this is where we haven't talked much about light mode, but you can switch this to light mode if you don't like that dark look. And just to kind of walk around a little bit, this is what light mode looks like. You see everything with a white background with black text as opposed to black background and white text. Some people prefer this a little bit better. Other people don't. You'll see the right ticket. It's still the same thing. All the little buttons pop up just like before. Your pop-up windows appear, but you just have a white background, okay? And that's really more of a preference thing, and that's in general settings. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that back to dark mode. Now, use login transactions. You would turn that on if you want that little login, counter login, to pop up before the customer or the counter person does anything. And that's if you have 2 or 3 counter people and they're all walking up to the computer throughout the day, and you want to keep track of who does what. Maximize window at startup really should always be on, so you use the full window and you don't have a small window that they can move around and minimize. Personally, I would keep the pre-process the AR statements always on, which is pretty important, because what that's going to do is run through the statements before you print them and determine which ones should be printed and which ones shouldn't. Now in customer setting, this is where your loyalty is. So as we come down here, you'll notice, automatically uppercase. Personally, I would do that, just so you don't have some customers with upper lowercase, some customers with lowercase, because it's hard to type, upper lowercase. So when you when you save a customer's name, it's going to automatically just uppercase it. This is the format for the phone number. So that basically will make sure that after you type in 10 digits, it formats it. Here's where the loyalty gets turned on. Now, if you don't want to use loyalty, turn this off. Okay. Now, basically, loyalty is set up in 2 different ways. You set up a loyalty level. Now, that can either be, if you come down here, by ticket, number, or by ticket total. And the difference is, this is the number of tickets. So you could say, if you turn that on and this off, and you set your level to 10, that means every time they bring in 10 orders, they automatically get the reward of $5. The other option is by ticket total, and notice that one's turned on, and that means when the customer reaches payments of $100, they get $5. And I want to say payments because they can come in and write $300 worth of tickets and never pick up their tickets and never pay for them. So the loyalty system keeps track of when they make payments on a ticket, and it's at the time that you turn it on. So basically when a customer comes in and picks up an order, pays $100, it'll pop up and say, congratulations, you got $5. And it will keep track of partial too, because if, let's say they bring in an order for $130, then tomorrow, and then they get $5, it's going to keep track that they have $30 toward their next loyalty points. Okay? Now, so you only want to turn on one of these. It's either going to be by ticket number or by ticket total. The next one is very important. If you want all your customers to get loyalty, then you want to turn on the default new customers to loyalty, just like the tax that we talked about. When you add a new customer, their check mark for a loyalty customer will already be on. Now, if you have customers that have discounts, then I recommend that you turn their loyalty off unless you don't care. Okay. So you could set this threshold to anything you want. You could be $200 and they get $5, or $200 and they get $10. So these are the loyalty settings, and they're under the customer. Okay. Now, by the way, you don't have to click save here the moment you change something. It's automatic. Now, how does loyalty work? Let's go pull up a customer. Let's take a random customer, 444, and so I went back to the home page, and you'll notice that their loyalty is off. Okay, so this customer is not getting any loyalty, so I'm going to turn it on. And that's all you need to do to set up loyalty. And now it'll start keeping track of their points. Now, if you come down here to sales, you click this. These are tabs up here. It's kind of hard to tell in dark mode. But you'll see loyalty level is currently blank. Okay, that means that this customer, because they weren't on loyalty, all their tickets have not gathered up points. And remember, when you write a ticket, you don't get points. You get points when they pay. Okay? So you'll also see right above it is the credit loyalty. So they have $3 credit. Now that's because somebody gave them a $3 credit before, but I'm going to change that back to 0. And I'm going to hit save down here. So you'll see that this is like a new customer. It's called Test 444. Loyalty is turned on. And in sales, there's no loyalty points and no credits. So if you want to watch it work, just go write a ticket. Remember, that's not going to do anything. But let's go 6 scarves. That's going to be $60, and I'm going to hit print with tax environmental fee at $67.80. Okay, and loyalty is all based on the total price of the ticket, including tax and fees. Sorry about that. That's just the way it works. If you give them a discount, 10%, then they'll still only get $61.80 in loyalty points. Okay, so set your threshold accordingly. You know, if that bothers you, then make it. They only get loyalty when they get up to $120 or $200. So it's up to you. So this is ticket 200-314. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go ahead and pretend we cleaned it. So I'm going to go to assign location. And I'm going to go 200-314. And I'm going to assign it location 22. By the way, it sent an email to my text number. I'm also going to now go to pickup. It remembers what customer I was working with, which is nice. And I'm going to do pickup, and I'm going to come down here to the bottom. Notice it's already checked location 22 because it's ready. It's the only ticket that is ready out of all these. If I want to see what's on the ticket, just click anywhere on the line. It won't turn the checkbox off. So that's going to be 6 scarves. So I'm going to grab the items and hand it to the customer, and I'm going to click pickup, and I'm going to say they paid by cash, $61.80, paid, no change due. Now, you'll notice it didn't pop up anything like the customer has received loyalty points, because that was only $60. That's not $100. You only get things when you hit their threshold. So if we go back and edit the customer and go to that sales tab, then you can see that the customer has got loyalty, and let's see, to accounting tab, and the customer's still on loyalty, which is very important. But they have no loyalty credits yet at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's write a ticket. No, pick up another ticket, and it doesn't have to be one we created. Here's another ticket for $60, which is nice. That's for wash and fold and such. And let's go ahead, pay exact and pay by cash. And now we go ahead, and now you'll see. So what happens is that customer ends up getting loyalty points because they paid more than a certain dollar amount. Okay. So then what happens is the next time they write a ticket, it'll pop up and it'll automatically say, you have $5 in loyalty points. Would you like to use that on this particular ticket? Okay. So I'm going to come in here, and just so we don't have to add these tickets, I'm going to add the $5 loyalty points, and we're going to come in here back to home, and I'm going to go write a ticket for $10. And now it says you have loyalty credit on file. Would you like to use that on this ticket? So if this ticket were $2 and you had $5, it would only use the $2 and keep the $3 on account. Since this ticket is $10 and we have $5 on account, I'm going to say yes. And you're going to notice that there's a prepayment of $5 because it took it from the loyalty points. Okay? And it took $5 off their next order, which is very important. It takes $5 off their next order. And they don't need to remember their loyalty points or their credits or anything. It just automatically will take care of that. So let's go ahead and now if you print it, it'll show that they got $5 points. So that's the loyalty system. And thank you for joining us for another training video, and we'll see you in the next one.